It's Ike from Flipside Music. Welcome to What the F.A.Q. number
18, season 2.
18, season 2, and I'm here with
Dylan
from Flipside Music. And this is the first one of the new year, huh?
It is, yep.
So happy 2020 twin round, y'all.
Happy third day of the year, right?
Yep, it's the third today, so.
Yep, Friday the 3rd, which isn't helpful.
Not really a thing, but doesn't matter.
We can make it one, maybe.
We could, Friday the 3rd,
yeah.
Find some reference to some movie or something.
Right.
So for those of you guys that are brand new here, because I know everybody's kind of like, trying to find us here on the YouTubeage. Question and answer show. You ask a question, we got an answer. That's it. So we don't have too many for this week, and I understand there's a lot of,
Well, I don't think everybody's was a little delayed just because everybody was away, and I'm sure visiting family for the holidays and all that stuff. So
yep.
More discussion topics this time, if anything.
Yeah. Holiday stuff. I think everybody's trying to get back in their groove.
Yeah, my coffee's still bad.
Well, then don't drink it.
Well,
Stop drinking. You keep drinking it.
I know. I keep thinking maybe I'll get accustomed to it, and it's just
what's
not
the matter
happening.
with it?
I don't know.
From yesterday?
I almost feel like maybe I left too much soap in the thing or something when I washed it.
I've done that before. Well, then don't drink that shit.
We'll see. Maybe I'll add more creamer later.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Just add more creamer. Meanwhile, you're running to the toilet. All right. So you go ahead. First one.
All right, Mr. Mike Rohde says he just got his '88 PV Bandit back from his buddy that he sold it to 20 years ago. He said after a little cleanup, it looks as good as he remembered. He said it still works pretty great, but when he uses the dirty channel, there's an intermittent volume surge. He said it's not a constant thing, and it does it once or twice using the channel, and then it stabilizes. So he was basically asking if we had any ideas on what that might be. Knowing that's a PV Bandit from that year, I might be wrong. I don't know enough to fully answer this, but I might speculate that it's transistor based, possibly.
Could be. I'm not super familiar with the old PV Bandits either, to be honest.
Yeah.
But at that age, I think the best thing to do is bring it to a qualified, amplifier tech.
Because the Bandits are solid state for sure, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if it's solid state, it could be
capacitor, it could be a transistor.
There's that. It could be, if it's FET based or transistor based, one of those, it could be old enough at this point.
That it might need a little bit of...
Yeah, that's 32 years now at this point, so... Yeah, so it's like if that's...
I remember 1988. Long hair, spandex pants. Not me. But just saying. I had the long hair. I didn't have
jumpsuit.
Didn't have spandex pants, though. I don't know. I'd say...
But probably something like that. If it's on that channel specifically, it might even be whatever part of the input stage is for that channel. Especially if it does it a couple times and then mellows out. It could just be at part getting ready to go. But
could be. Like I said, best thing to do, bring it to a qualified amp tech and just get them to do kind of a quick run through of it to make sure and test out the stuff. That's what we do in a lot of the older amps that we get. We just make sure that we kind of run through paces, and we don't do it, but...
Yeah, and if we do have a good buddy of the shop that takes care of our amps and stuff, so
yeah.
if you got a buddy like that, you might have him take a look at it.
Yep, that's our advice.
Yeah.
Alright,
Walking Dead, his stuff's more or less a discussion topic back on the Headstock Debate from last week.
Oh, yeah, so last week we were talking about Epiphone headstocks, and they look weird and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the solid bodies versus the semi-hollows in terms of the headstock shape and why it works for some of them, but it doesn't work for others.
Yep. So Walking Dead says, I agree on your thoughts on the Epi headstock. Looks good on a big body guitar, just doesn't seem to fit the solid bodies. And so, yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about yesterday. Yeah. They already do the headstocks with the Explorers and the Vs that are basically the same as the Gibsons, so...
Yeah, because, even though there's been a few times I've seen some really good-looking Epiphone Explorers that, from a distance, it looked pretty spot on for it. Even some of, the reissued ones that they've done, they did the that mocha like 70s reissue one.
Oh yeah.
And like at a distance, that thing looks like the real deal.
And the V's too. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the V's look. If you're at a distance, you're not going to know the difference.
Yeah. Well, and even like Cade's White Falcon that he has, I think that
That's
one's
a
an
cool
Epiphone.
guitar.
Yeah, and it's like that one's a great playing guitar for that, but it has the correct like aesthetic.
Yeah, it looks right.
Right. Whereas like the headstock for some reason it is kind of the wart on top of the Les Pauls and the SGs and the Epiphone
Well, I mean,
line.
if they change to the whole open book
Yeah, that
vibe
could.
to it, I think. I mean, well, here's my thought: is if they were to do that on the solid bodies, I mean, that might, chip away at the chips and.
Yeah, that was one of the other comments I think too. Was kind of alluding to that.
So I'm kind of going with the same.
Yeah,
thought.
that it might put a good dent. Well,
And maybe some of the other companies that are kind of do the Les Paul thing with a similar headstock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because honestly,
that keeps it in the family though.
Even ESP, like I don't know if you guys have ever checked out Edwards guitars, but it's essentially this like other branch within ESP that's kind of Japan only essentially in terms of sales. But all the stuff looks, it has the correct look, kind of like the Tokai stuff and the Orvilles and all that stuff. But anyway, the headstocks on Epiphones are another one, or not Epiphones, LTDs and ESPs. That's another one that kind of doesn't really bug me, but it does a little bit. The weird offset wave.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. There's other brands too. Like, there's a lot of people that don't like G&L headstock, so they won't play it.
Well, no, I think the G&L one's kind of cool.
I like
but,
them personally,
But yeah, sorry, got a piece of breakfast. Anyway, I was gonna say, I feel like the ESP one for some reason it looks like somebody was in the middle of drawing like this nice headstock, and then a kid came along and just like smudged it. Like they just pulled everything over to the right. Just
you know how hard it is though. I to try to design a headstock.
Oh, I know that doesn't
infringe on some other crap.
I know.
It's like
I'm just saying like that's one that kind of like I even feel like the weird ones without the dip in the book part.
Yeah.
Like even the ones that just have the solid line, kind of like the way Chris does. Even the Ashleys, like some of those, even though they're a little more, not really plain aesthetically, I feel like those still can't get enough of the right look. Whereas like if you do the weird askew ones,
Chris just does kind of a curve, and I think that looks.
Well, I like the way he does the extra wood inlay and all that stuff on it. And, it looks nice.
I mean, even the vintage ones, the vintage guitars, the vintage brand guitars.
Yeah.
Those headstocks look.
Yeah.
You could tell it's not a.
Well, I even like the Reverend and
good.
Yeah, the Reverend and Supro 6x6 one or 3x3. I mean,
yeah, I like the Texas Toast. I like the headstock that they've done on both the what do you call it? On both the their T styles and their regular kind of single cuts. I like the way I like their headstock. The 3-on-3 they do. I think it's super cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna say I think Walking Dead was Nick. Walking Dead was also kind of pointing out that Orville, Maestro, Greco, they all had, like back in the day, they did have the headstocks. And at one point, I know Orville was actually licensed to actually use it. They were kind of like the made in Japan Gibson for a while. But yeah, it's like the fact that they did let companies do it at one point, like Walking Dead says, why not just let Epiphone do it at this point? I mean, especially if it does. It'll be mutually beneficial. They'll sell more guitars, and they're gonna also cut down, like you said, on the forgery. Yeah.
I mean, maybe they think that if they use that same headstock on the Epiphones, that people will just buy the Epiphones instead of buying a Gibson.
That's gonna be that cork sniffery will always be there.
I know. Well, I mean,
I'm kidding. I know. I like it, but also there's this weird attachment. I get it.
But looking at it. Let's look at Fender. You got Fender, and then you got Squier. It's the same headstock.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's the same headstock.
But but look how violent people get over just the logo. That's such a big thing.
I think there's just too. I don't know. It's like you worry about some shit that's.
That's what I mean, because we have customers almost getting into fist fights over the whole Squier versus G&L versus Fender versus Made in Mexico versus USA versus Martian series versus.
some people just going to be super particular.
Yeah.
And they just got to get that one thing that they think is the right thing.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean? And there's other people that just don't give a shit. You know, like I don't think we don't care. Like, if the guitar plays well and it's in the budget,
yeah,
like
even better.
I'm going for it. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Moving on.
All right, Mr. Coombs said he was glad we survived the holidays, and he said Happy Boxing Day.
Happy Boxing Day to you too, Mr.
And all
Mr.
your
Coombs,
your Canadian brethren. Oh, we got a message for you. I think somebody thinks you work for us.
Yeah,
somebody
messaged us on Facebook.
Right.
And basically they said, "Hey Ben, blah 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 blah," and I'm like, maybe. And I was kind of
wondering.
it
was as if they entered a conversation that had already started. That was what
like
was,
we're in the middle of it somehow.
Right. So anyway, we think it's you. And I was gonna say on that note, we didn't really announce that we're not going to NAMM yet, did we?
No, we have not announced it.
Because I was gonna say, I don't know.
You just did though.
Yeah. Well, does Coombs already know?
Oh, Coombs does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I was gonna say.
I already told him. I was like, "Hey man, we ain't making it."
Well, then I was gonna say in that regard, maybe we sort of just make him like our representative this year.
Ben's our official Flipside representative.
Yeah, that way, like we just let him and I'll just.
I don't know because last year they stole a bunch of picks.
Oh.
Not like stole it, but they did collect a lot of picks at the NAMM show.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Fun.
Whoops! We're getting close to opening, so yeah.
Oh yeah, we got 4 minutes. But anyway, Ben.
It's going to be crazy. They don't want to listen to that.
Well, it's over there. I can't get that one.
Okay, well, you're going to hear it, so hopefully.
Ring-a-ling.
So, what's Ben's question?
The ringing, the dinging. He was wondering if we've ever performed a song that was really out of our comfort zone, and this probably applies to you more than me, since what I was doing was more like stuff well, not all of it was stuff we came up with, but it was more definitely very agreed upon, whereas I know you've had to learn some songs recently that you didn't necessarily, wouldn't have done if, if you didn't have emphasis from the band.
Well, I think that's a different question. I mean, comfort zone as far as like playing wise, or
I think
comfort zone as far as like I don't really like the frickin' song.
I guess that's the way I'm interpreting it.
See, I'm interpreting it that it's comfort zone as far as playing. Now we've tried some stuff that I was like, this is not really quite my. It's not my style.
Right.
But I just kind of figured it's an opportunity to learn, so might as well.
Well, yeah, but like, is there anything like? I guess when I'm thinking of this, when he describes that, for me, it would be more of like you would dread playing the song. Like you.
So
you
I've had some songs I'm not excited about.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like I hate this song. You go into it like I don't want to play this song in your head. You might not be going,
Yeah, I would say there's some songs that I've had to play that I'm just don't want to do.
Yeah.
Just don't really like it, or whatever the case may be. But in a band situation, it's kind of like, we're in a band,
right?
So you got to suck it up and do a song we don't like.
Yeah.
That's
well, I know it's like, yeah. Well, I know with Jake and Connor, like we'd run into things on either end of it that we would just have to hammer it out until we got it. In terms of like a piece, like if somebody was not getting a piece, any one of us, we would just run through it over and over and over until we until everybody got it, and then once we got it, we were usually pretty good.
We're having a situation right now like that.
Oh, okay.
In the band.
Well, it's weird.
One song where we're trying to do this walk down, and everybody's saying it's not right, and it's like, well, we've done some looking online and finding tabs and listening, and
which should have confirmed it more or less by now.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like, well, are we all on the same page? Is everybody looking at the same thing? Are we, and so
we need to establish an objective reality. Yeah.
But even at like, practice last night, I'm like, I'm getting pissed. I just want, and it's not that I'm mad at them. I'm not mad at them.
No, you're frustrated with that part of the song.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're all doing it and we're all doing it right, and then that way the song sounds good. So, that's all. Oops. Cast connection stopped. Lounge TV. Apparently, this is the lounge.
Yeah, it felt like it added some fanciness when we added the TV.
Very upper crust. All right, what else we got? 'Cause we're
last one. Favorite discontinued pedals in the last 5 years from Richard Palmer.
Favorite discontinued in the last 5 years.
Yeah, I have a few that come to mind, mainly from one company, but
that's a kind of a tough one. I don't know. You go first.
All right. Well, I really
just go, yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the one.
I really liked the Mayflower from Walrus. That was one.
Oh, yeah,
the 385
yeah.
more or less replaced that one.
That was a really good pedal.
Yeah, I liked the Mayflower. Really loved the Dirt Transmitter from Earthquaker. That was one I was sad to see go. And the Terminal and Fuzzmaster General.
That was the one I was just going to say. The Fuzzmaster General, I like that one. That was a good one.
All three of those, actually. I was sad because those were really cool fuzzes that hit a very distinct point that not everybody else is doing. Trying to think of any other ones that really like pop out.
I can't think of
Earthquaker is probably the main one that's trimming the line the most. I mean, I think Electro Harmonics is getting ready to.
Yeah, Electro Harmonics is going to drop a bunch of. Well, I mean, yeah, because Electro Harmonics has got an incredible amount of pedals. So,
right.
I mean, for them to kind of knock down a few is probably not a bad idea. I mean, the Wiggler was a pretty cool pedal.
Yeah, especially that tube-driven one too.
Yeah, the Wiggler from EHX was pretty solid.
Yeah, they may. I don't know if they have a current production model on that. I'll have to look.
I don't know. I can't.
But yeah, they're getting ready to trim quite a bit of the line there, and then like I said, Earthquaker's the main one that discontinued. I mean, they kind of discontinue probably 2 or 3 every year, pretty much. But they add 2 or 3 every year, so I think their goal is to keep more or less the same amount of pedals. Kind of like Walrus, it's just a balancing act. They're trying to keep the same amount of pedals without overextending themselves, which I think is good.
And you got to keep things fresh, too, a little bit. And sometimes there's an improvement, and that improvement warrants.
Well, yeah, because we certainly sell way, way, way more of the 385 than the Mayflower. Like the Mayflower was not a great seller, which is why they had a hard time. But I really liked it, and then like I said,
it was a super cool pedal. I thought it was a really good pedal.
Yeah.
But 385, we definitely have.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely
definitely moved down the line
for that company. That's our best selling overdrive from them. So, but yeah, those are the ones that kind of come to mind the most for me at the moment. I'm sure there's quite a few others, but
yeah, just right off the top though. I don't.
Yeah. Well, and actually, even speaking of Earthquaker, I think they discontinued the bellows this year or last year, I guess, not this year. What was the other one they did? I don't know, but every once in a while, yeah, like, you know, if you don't want to see a pedal go extinct, buy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, also, if
preserve the pedal, yeah.
Just buy the pedal and hold on to it.
Well, there's that too, but yeah, even like, it's kind of like album sales. You know, like if you want that one to do good, you know, the uptick in sales always helps.
Yes.
Preserves
it for posterity.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Posteriority.
Yes. All right, is that all we got?
Yeah.
I think we're starting to gather some folks up front. Yeah, so that's it, right?
Yeah, I don't think we have any real announcements. Ben, I guess we'll talk to you about
our official correspondence.
Yeah, official Flipside attaché-ness.
Well, we got Tommy, F-Bomb Tommy will be out there for us too.
And we gotta have a few representatives.
Yeah, we got a few reps out there making, shaking the trees and seeing what's cool.
Actually,
I'm sure Ben will report to us.
Yeah, even though I haven't met Tommy, from what I've heard, if he went and approved of something at the Flipside at the show, and that would be something I feel like we should consider.
Yeah, because he hates everything.
Right.
He's like old school Mikey.
Right.
He hates everything. So if he likes it, it's good. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.
I got my PT Cruiser, I got my 8-track. My homies call me Magnum, 'cause I'm just fly like